welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we keep working our way through the native commanders. We've got a real interesting one today, and that is Don Andreas, a 30-point character, so pretty expensive there and kind of in the upper end of most special character costs. So let's see what we get for that pretty big investment. So he's a 30-point character. That's already a chunk there, so ideally more for the larger games, right? That's a lot of points to invest in a smaller game. He can only lead that one force here, and unlike the previous two commanders where they could only field the Carib force, he specifically has to lead, or can lead, the Darren. Does have standard melee weapon and a brace of pistols, so that already is a plus there to have that configuration. And actually has a 12-inch command range compared to the other two that we've covered so far with only an 8-inch command range, so fantastic stuff there. But also, perhaps most importantly, has that excellent third command point, so we can do a lot of great work with that. And his special abilities really give us a little bit of offensive punch, but then also are really designed to help keep him in the force. So we'll start off with the situational ability, and that's Vendetta, right? Vendetta against the Spanish here, so fantastic if we're playing against the Spanish, useless against every other faction, right? Vendetta basically lets you do the following. So when fighting a force with that specific nation, this force may reroll one failed rally die in any rally test, which kind of bleeds over into what Very Inspiring can do for us too. The neat thing with this is it's not command point dependent, right? It's just an ability we get, and also because the wording is pretty clear, this doesn't care about command range, right? So we can spread out the force a little bit, potentially if we need to, outside of that command bubble, and still have some defensive buffs here in the form of that rally bonus. But let's go over and then take a look at Very Inspiring, just because we're kind of in the same ballpark here with modifying rally tests. So Very Inspiring is the more impressive version of just Inspiring. And here, all friendly units within the command range of the commander, so again, pretty solid command range there, 24-inch bubble, may re-roll any failed rally test results. So again, with those 3 command points and then that huge radius, or not radius, but that huge range in general, we can keep the force in play for longer, ideally, right? So we have 3 command points to spend, and as long as we don't need to rally our own unit, we can definitely salvage the force that's accumulated too much fatigue and really is just on the brink of maybe collapsing, so we can ideally keep the force in the fight as long as we really need to. So 2 pretty good things here. Obviously, again, Vendetta, situational, so obviously we're not going to complain if we're playing against the Spanish, because that obviously then kicks in, but against any other force, right, it's a dead ability for us. So Very Inspiring, though, is very, very good. Then let's get on to Great Warrior, because that seems to be the theme so far with the native commanders. Now, it's an ability that does allow us to upgrade a unit. So basically, so the unit that the commander joins can upgrade all the models to what are called War Captains. It's a point per model upgrade, so the bigger the unit, the more it's going to cost, but a really good investment, really, for that. So once per turn, War Captains may apply a -1 bonus to any one test they take. So yes, we sort of get a third ability that could also affect rallies, but with the Very Inspiring already kicking in, getting the free reroll, right, we hopefully don't need to spend the War Captain ability on that. More ideally, right, we're using War Captain for like modifying a close combat attack or a shooting attack. If we can get into like an optimal range for whatever missile weapons we might be carrying, getting that bonus is going to be fantastic. Hopefully we can just inflict some massive damage, but also makes us a pretty scary force, especially depending on some of the native units, if we and their equipment, if we then take that bonus and go on the offensive as well in close combat. So potentially some very scary modifiers there that we could really take advantage of. And then, even at the right time, even with all that good stuff in our favor, at the right time, right, if we just, hey, this is a crappy roll, but this is like a critical moment of the battle, maybe we do burn that fortune point and get a reroll again with that bonus still active. But by and large, as long as we're careful and don't overextend with the character and his unit, and then just make optimal use of him for the most part, his unit can definitely do some great things. But then also having very inspiring, should keep the force in the fight as long as possible. So, as long as we don't get careless, I think, he can definitely lend us a lot. But let us know, guys, how you have fared so far with Don Andreas. Has he been a worthwhile modifier for this Darien force? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you soon. Thanks for watching.